Hey, it's your girl, the Ordained High Priestess. I'm gonna go ahead and do another reading for the TikTok ban because I know it's getting closer, and I know as I get closer to the date, or as we're getting closer, I know on my end, I'll probably get a clearer reading or more definitive reading. I know in the last video, I predicted that someone was going to introduce something or say, hey, we need to think about this, and probably ask for a pause on the ban. And I was actually right, and I was surprised because I was like, well, this is for entertainment purposes, because I did not want to F myself over. And in a way, it was like a lack of confidence, even though I've been reading tarot cards for almost 30 years. So I'm going to go ahead and do a part two. Let me go ahead and ring my bell. So I'm going to shuffle the deck. It's been reset. I always reset my decks for clean reads. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. And I think I'm going to ask the questions that need to be asked. So let me go ahead, and I keep hearing no, though, from crew. So for those of you who don't follow me on TikTok, I've explained what my crew is. My crew is like my patron gods and goddesses that I work with. I also work with ancestors, and I also have been working newly with La Santísima Muerte. Like, it's been about a month and a half since I started working with her. And I look forward to working with her even further. I work with that white aspect because that's the one that approached me in a dream last month. So anyway, all right, with the TikTok ban. I'm getting the feeling to cut it in half. I'm tempted to use Lenormand, but I feel like my tarot deck and what crew's steering me to do is to use my tarot card deck. I usually work with Marduk or Akali to help me read cards. In this case, it's just me, but sometimes I'll hear them. So, all right. My first question is, will TikTok officially be banned from the United States? So there's the magician, right? There's a lot of manifesting. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of chaos and confusion surrounding this situation. So it's not a yes. It's not a no. It's just things are unclear and up in the air right now. Okay, why are things unclear up in the air right now? So we have our high priestess. So the high priestess is popping up because there's a lot of secrets. A lot of things going on behind the scenes, like a lot of backdoor dealing and everything else, where things are just, again, not clear, but there's a lot of secrets. So I find it interesting how we're talking about smoke and mirrors, and we're talking about things being unclear, and then we're also talking about the divine feminine and masculine. So it seems like there's going to have to be some compromise as well as empathy and communication to really get this stuff to stick. But it looks like, besides the smoke and mirrors and the confusion, and also, okay, in a positive sense, this could be, yes, manifesting a good outcome. There are some secrets or some things that need to be looked at regarding this situation. So I'm going to shuffle again because I'm curious as to what secrets need to be revealed, or what is being hidden from us that we don't know about regarding this TikTok situation. Because I am very curious as to, what needs to be done. And I was going to say, as a side note, as someone who has worked for the federal government, I no longer work for them. I can tell you from personal experience that the federal government tends to be very bureaucratic, and it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And for those of you who may be working in federal service or have worked in federal service, I hope, or I bet, that they can guarantee that I'm telling you the truth. It's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of hurry up and wait, and sometimes it's a lot of incompetence. And we're about to see it again for the next few years. All right. So where are the secrets, or what's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about? So the Star is a wish. It's a karmic thing, but what I'm feeling here is, it's very interesting because we have a lot of major arcana cards, but what's being hidden is that there's a lot of star power, or a lot of focus being put on this, and It almost feels like America or the United States is being pushed to follow the North Star or follow their conscience. It's almost like Jiminy Cricket, like when you make a wish upon a star type of vibe that I'm getting. So what I'm feeling here is that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. There's a lot of secrets. And the secret is like they want to make sure, it feels like the United States wants to finally listen to their people, but for a short bit. I feel like there's something else going on, and I'm not sure what. So I'm going to shuffle again. I would seriously laugh if the moon pops up. But a lot of this is karmic, and it feels like a lot of this is being set in stone, which is very interesting, because whenever I see a whole bunch of major arcana popping up like this, it's stuff being set in stone. But it looks like they're trying to create, it feels like a solution is trying to be created, but it's not fully drafted out, and it's a lot of backdoor dealing, a lot of behind the scenes dealing until something favorable comes out of this. It's going to be good. It's going to be positive. It's just my gut is telling me what's going on here. All right, like, okay. Oh boy. So the backdoor deal is, or whatever is going on, again, you saw that I shuffled. I'm getting major arcana cards. The Emperor is like, it's ruled by Aries. It's an Aries card. But what I was going to say with the Emperor that I find very interesting is that it's in reverse. So this is someone who rules with the Iron Fist, has dictator qualities, like very fascist qualities, someone who is very stubborn, someone who is very me, very self-centered, very arrogant, very rude, very controlling and domineering. And if he doesn't benefit from it, I keep saying he because I'm feeling he, and the Emperor is usually a male. But if he doesn't benefit from it, no one does. It's a lot of power plays. It's a lot of strong arming. It's a lot of narcissism. It's a lot of, ooh, my gut is like telling me to focus on this card. It's a lot of wanting to be right when you know you're wrong. So it's like being loud and wrong and arrogant about it. But it's a lot of conceitedness too. And the energy I'm picking up on and what I'm feeling in my gut is there's a lot of arrogance at play. It's almost like, okay, I'll do this for you, but what are you going to give me in return? And that's what the vibe I'm feeling with this. So honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. This feels like the incoming president. Crew's telling me not to shuffle and to draw another card. And there's going to be a lot of business deals that are going to fail or fall through. So it looks like what's going to happen is that there's a lot of stubbornness and arrogance going on. Like they're trying to work out something to make it work, but it's like, well, if you don't do things my way, then we're going to find another way to work with your business, which is going to lead to more business delays. It feels like because Eight of Wands talks about messages of not only romance, but of business. But what I'm feeling here is it's a lot of business messages or a lot of business progress that gets delayed as a result of this arrogance. They're saying draw another card. And as a result, it's a lot of bitter energy, and it's a lot of cutthroat aggressiveness. It's a lot of things that are being said that shouldn't be said, and it's a lot of heated words and spiteful words being mentioned here, because the Queen of Swords in reverse is usually kind of like a mother-in-law lamenting her son. So I'm not sure if, like, okay, if we're looking at this in a family relationship situation, it's almost like, okay, someone's coming in, they're like the mother, with the mother-in-law or whatever, and she's like willing to do battle against the daughter-in-law. So to better explain this situation, it almost feels like, whoever this is, they're not feeling it, and it's a lot of back and forth. So it feels like this person, they're in a lot of feminine energy, but they're willing to defend the company, and I feel like this is the CEO, to be honest. and they're going to be clashing heads or butting heads with the emperor, which feels like, honestly, again, the incoming U.S. president. The Queen of Swords in reverse is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy, but I find it very interesting how this is going on with the back and forth, a lot of back and forth messages, but it's like delays, and then this person's getting frustrated, and it's like, no, this is my baby, like, you can't take him away from me. Like, that's what I'm feeling. So what do we need to know now as things have updated, you know, with these bands, like, or the upcoming band? Like, will there be, like, we know there's going to be a delay, right? There's going to be a delay with this business and whatever's going on. The delay feels like, I keep wanting to say ban, but it almost feels like a ban going in a different direction. It feels like a ban that's going towards, I want to say, not banning the app, but I don't want to speak too confidently on that because I'm not seeing cards that are telling me otherwise. So, okay, I'm hearing cut the deck in half. So what is going to be the overall result? Like, is there going to be a ban or is there not going to be a ban? I'm getting a third option and a fourth. Wait. Ban, no ban, and then the other options are alternatives. I'm getting 3 cards and I'm 4? Okay, they're telling me to draw a 5. Let's see what's going on. Flip this card up. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is not looking good. All right. So the King of Wands in reverse, it gives the energy of the Emperor. This is someone who, again, is very arrogant, very destructive in his ways, and he doesn't tend to look out for the people, and he doesn't tend to look out for others. I feel like this is a warning, honestly, about the incoming presidency, and it's very interesting how this is coming up during the TikTok ban questions that I'm asking. So the King of Wands is a Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries card, again, where it gives the energy of the fire signs. So again, this is someone who is very arrogant, very haughty, very impulsive, likes to strong arm people. It's a lot of machismo. And when I talk about machismo, I'm talking about toxic masculinity. I'm not talking about machismo like how they talk in Hispanic or Latin cultures, where it's more of being brave, I guess, so to speak. I'm not really translating it well or explaining it well, and I wish I had the better words. But this King of Wands, it's like a lot of arrogance, a lot of deceit too, because I read this King of Wands as a businessman who's a con man. And this is not looking good for if it's going to be banned. Now, is it going to be banned versus not banned? For not banned, I got the 3 of Wands in reverse, which is interesting because when it's in reverse, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. This feels like, for lack of a better term, it feels like someone who is waiting for their ships to come in, and then there's delays with the shipments or whatever that's coming in. Now, I see why crew told me to draw these cards. We have 2 pages, and we have a page of cup, and we have a page of swords. If I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, I think 2 pages means a quarrel or an upset. So the page of swords to me is always my spy card, or someone who's keeping tabs on someone when they shouldn't be. But in this case, it feels like the accusations of keeping tabs on people are keeping the data, because the Page of Swords is an Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini cards, air signs, right? It's all about communication, our words, and what we do. But in the Page of, and of course, like information, right? So with the Page of Swords, what I'm seeing here is that this is like feeling like the overall summary of the situation, where it's like, oh, there's accusations of someone being spied on, but really the Page of Swords is saying no, like there's no spying going on. Or if there was a spy, or there was a leak of data or whatever, it got caught. So it feels like to me like TikTok has certain things in place to prevent spying or malicious data leaks or hacks to come out. So it feels like they're telling the truth. Like, no, we're not spying on people and using their data. We just want people to have fun on our app and get paid. And that's the vibe I'm getting. Now, with the Two of Swords, this is calculated patience, calculated, and just being cautious. So it feels like because of the accusations going on, they're being very cautious, which would make sense as to why they don't want to sell their app. So with being cautious and having that calculated patience, they're basically holding their cards close to the chest. And they're not falling for these offers. This is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. This is talking about emotions, going with the flow, and instincts like maternal instincts, I guess, so to speak, or just following your instincts or your intuition. Like, all these cards talk about intuition, but in different ways. But it almost feels like they're not falling for the, oh, we're going to help you out, and oh, we're going to do this. Like, they're not falling for the smoke and mirrors that are going on here, and they're not falling for the niceties or the pleasantries or the offers, because remember, they're getting offers of money, and we already know they're unwilling to sell, and I feel like they're going to hold their position. They're not falling for the offers of money. They're not falling into, lack of a better term, temptation. This is the Devil card, right? So the Devil card talks about feeling trapped, being in an abusive relationship, and being abused and being unable to find your way out, as well as addictions and vices. So what I'm seeing here is that they're not giving in to, the niceties, or for lack of a better term, like trying to court, or the courting, where it talks about, where they know the courting is a trap, which is very interesting, and it makes sense why they're holding their ground. They know the courting is a trap, and it's going to put them in a situation where their hands are going to be tied, and they know they're going to be harming other people. And because of that, they know there's going to be an imbalance in the way things are done, and they don't want that. So I find that very interesting. And then you have your Ten of Pentacles on the bottom, which talks about a disinheritance. So they don't want to be disinherited from the app, or, like, I guess for lack of a better term, divorced from the app. There's going to be big hearings, and they're going to be chaotic. And yes, it is money-based because there's 10 of Pentacles. So what this is telling me about is there's going to be huge hearings and gatherings about this. So as you know, there's hearings and stuff going on, which is confirming everything's going on. But I feel like there's going to be another hearing, or something else that's going on where it's talking about large sums of money, and the large sum of money isn't really what it seems like on paper. And we have the Page of Wands, where, again, fire signs, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, where this is someone who is being very petty and very small, or like the job offer, or like whatever this is, it's not really good, and it doesn't look good on paper. And then you have the Chariot, which is a Cancer card. Usually this talks about returning home or going back to basics. And again, this card keeps popping up, which is interesting. The Chariot pops up because it talks about taking control, or taking over the reins of something, where eventually holding your ground and taking control of the situation leads to a good omen or a good thing. So it's funny how certain cards keep popping up, but this one has been the most consistent one, because this one was the last one I drew in the last reading, where I said, I personally feel that they may not get banned, even though right now I'm feeling they may be, but it's close to the nth hour. So, but I'm still feeling a slight inclination towards them not being banned. So let's draw another card and see what's going on. I think I asked about the end result of the situation, but because of what's going on, it's getting weird. I still feel like everything's going to work out. It's just a lot of grandstanding and a lot of back and forth, and a lot of it feels wacky. And I'm tapping into that energy of the federal government versus TikTok, and it's very tumultuous, which makes sense. It's very tumultuous and very contentious. So I guess my question is, what should we expect for January 19th? I'm being told to draw 3 cards and to put this face down. Huh. Draw another for the Judgment. Okay. I'm sorry for the long reading, but I want to make this in depth and as detailed as possible. So, what should we expect on January 19th? So, clearly, this feels like bread and circuses, honestly, but let's keep it real. The Six of Pentacles discusses charity. It discusses donations, aid, all of that jazz, right? And giving back to the poor. So I'm wondering what's going to happen is that part. And also, if you look at the scale, it feels like balance, right? Or justice. And did we have the Justice card pop up yet? No. Interesting. So I find it interesting because it's almost like weighing or balancing out the scales where it's like, okay, we know we're going to harm a lot of people if we don't do this, so we might as well give charity or aid. I'm wondering if they're going to tell them to tailor the app or do something with the app where the creators can stay, but anyone else who isn't staying, they're told to leave. That would be very interesting to see. But what I'm feeling overall, it's a lot of charity and aid and donations. Maybe it's other people putting up money to save the app or putting up money to create another app that's similar. Not like the Little Red Book, or I think it's Zhang Hong Shu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but this feels like charity, aid, and donations. And the Knight of Cups in reverse is kind of like the Page of Cups, but on steroids. But they're in reverse. Again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. So again, like it's charity, aids, and donations, but what's the catch? Who's emotionally manipulating and being sneaky about doing the aids and the donations and everything else? Like, what's the catch? Because there is some sort of emotional manipulation or appeasing that needs to be done in order for this to happen. And of course, we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment looks like it's going to be fair. It's not going to be biased because I have it right side up. So it's not like someone's being unfairly judged. But it's going to be a decent judgment, but it's going to be a situation where, whoever brought this judgment or whoever started this judgment, I think it was Zuckerberg, if I remember correctly, don't call me on it. It feels like whoever brought this judgment, they're not going to reap what they sowed. And as a result, it's going to blow up so bad in their face, like backfire super bad. And it's going to be to the point where it feels like they're going to be crying over spilt milk. It definitely feels like, as a result, where it's like, oh yeah, we said they were stealing, and then this is telling me like a thief got caught or there was no theft, because remember, we had our Page of Swords earlier right here. So this is feeling like whoever brought this suit and brought the BS about the theft and all this stuff, because this is telling me there's no theft going on, or if there is, there were certain protocols put in place to nip it in the bud so it doesn't happen again. I really don't get a feeling of theft, but this is telling me like whoever this is, they're the ones who are actually projecting, and the court is going to look at that and be like, what are you doing? Even though the courts are right now leaning towards it, I feel like something is going to happen at the nth hour where it's going to be like, no, like an amicus brief or something else, like some revelation or something else is going to come up where the courts are going to be like, wait, whoa, what's going on here? Or whoever comes into power in the U.S., they're going to turn around and be like, no, what is this? So we end on the note of the Leo card. I'm being told to draw one more, and the Queen of Wands. I wish I didn't draw that card, but okay, we're here. So this is the Strength card. It's a Leo card. You have your Queen of Wands, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. So what I'm seeing here with the Strength card is, despite all of this, it's a strong judgment. It's going to be a situation where it's going to rule strongly in favor of... All right, so it's going to rule strongly in favor, or I think this is coming out jumbled, because I want to say two things at once. So this is your Aries, Leo, Sagittarius card. It feels like this person is barren and there's no love lost. Usually the Queen of Wands is someone who genuinely wants to help the current, but in this case, they're interested in the current, but they're not really willing to help them. And then you have your Ace of Cups, which is, no new beginnings, creative blocks, infertility, miscarriages. It could be a miscarriage of the legal system or a miscarriage of justice. I don't know what to make of this. And then you have your Three of Hearts in reverse. Three of Wands, Three of Swords. Oh my God, I can't English. You have this in reverse, which is talking about, again, no love lost. And a relationship isn't affected. And it feels like there's healing that can happen. Because if I were to read it like this, I'd be like, okay, the relationship is ended, which would have indicated towards TikTok going away. I'm not feeling that. This feels like whoever the owner is or whoever's in charge, they're going to feel like, obviously they're feeling like they're targeted because there's a lot of xenophobia and sinophobia here in the United States. But what I was going to say is with these cards, it feels like a situation where it's like, okay, well, now I'm gonna, do something else just in case this happens again. It's almost like y'all broke this person's trust in this situation to the point where it's like they're gonna become more hardened. It also feels like a situation where whoever brought this suit, because it feels like I'm reading two people at once. Whoever brought this suit, right? Wherever social media or wherever they're using or wherever they're trying to promote, it's gonna go barren and dry. And it's almost like, again, no love lost, but it's almost like people are going to question their relationship with these apps, which people are already doing. But that's what it feels like. Let me cruising, shuffle, and draw one more card. This is a long-ass reading. I wasn't expecting to talk this long. I would have been better off doing Lenormand, y'all. I'm so tired. The last card is this. So this isn't a good omen for military. This isn't a good omen overall. Be careful of who you drink, whoever you tell things to. So this feels like a situation where it's like, be careful. The moral of the story or this situation is be careful of who you're giving your information to, be careful of who you're talking to, and be careful of where you're uploading stuff. That's what I'm feeling. I find it interesting how the Cups cards as of late in my deck have been talking more so about social media, because I don't have it up here, but the Three of Cups also talks about opening a social media business or whatever. I don't know why, but that's what I've been feeling. But this feels like be careful of who you give your data to. That's the moral of the story. But also, there's going to be a renewed partnership. This really feels like TikTok isn't going to get banned. I would be very surprised if they do. If they do get banned, I feel like it's going to be temporary and then they're going to come back. But it's going to be a situation where people are going to be more cautious. But there is going to be harmony in a partnership. There is going to be making up. And there's going to be a lot of choices that are going to be made, whether to make the app better or, make multiple apps or backup apps where they may do a US offshoot or something else to make sure that people are able to access the app if this ever happens again. It just, again, it feels like a breakdown of trust, and this lawsuit feels like really unnecessary. It really feels petty and spiteful, and it feels like a lot of people have their names in a hat, and it's almost like too many cooks ruining the broth or spoiling the broth. So anyway, this has been the Ordained High Priestess. I apologize for this half-hour long video, but I hope y'all are patient enough to sit through it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.